My fellow flesh and blood enthusiasts, I didn't think I'd be making this video, but it's time to not be quiet about flesh and blood. Let's dive right in. Greetings, and welcome to this episode on Geeks First. Well, my fellow flesh and blood enthusiasts, I didn't think I'd be making this video, but because of so many people asking, and frankly the sheer amount of people I have seen do this video, I felt obligated to do one. So, without further ado, it's time to not be quiet about flesh and blood. While my flesh and blood collecting journey is definitely one of a variety of interests, we're going to start with a couple of key things here. There are frankly too many things for me to go over in one video, because I'm going to try to keep this to about 10, maybe 15 minutes max. So without further ado, we're going to speed run through some items in my collection in hopes that, well, you get the general gist of what it's like to be a collector, a player, an enthusiast, a fan, lorehead, all of the above in the flesh and blood ecosystem, because holy family-friendly content blurb, there's a lot. All right, first and foremost, I think the very first thing I'm going to talk about is probably the one thing in the tube that takes a tidbit of explanation. This, by far, may be the one item in my entire collection that has the most meaning across everything. This is the mat that I purchased, and well, one, I was looking for this collector mat a long time, so it's been in my to-do list. And then I took it with me to Baltimore, and I happened to run into some people in the game, and I had them all sign this. So everybody, like, there's Rudy, there's Flukenbox, there's Mansant, there's Sloop Dupe, DM Armada, you got Hamel Patel, you got Joey from the Coaxing, you got Fabulous, you got Sinfab, you got Ashen Wing, you got Alex, you got so many. I can't name them all. Like, there's just Edwin the Magic Engineer, you got, you know, blah 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 blah, everybody. I don't think I have oddly, I don't think I have James White on here just yet. Nope, I do. Never mind, he's down at the bottom. Lord almighty. Okay, so that is first and foremost. We're going to go ahead and jump to the overhead camera and remove my face. All right, the next item on top of the beautiful mat, which I will only have a little bit in frame here, we're going to discuss me hitting my microphone. Just kidding. We're going to discuss the next binder. Obviously, everybody's collection is a remnant of the, you know, journey that you've been through, and Magic the Gathering was one of those journeys, including these oversized cards. But the one thing that I am more than often known for is the collection of basically my signed baubles, and I wanted to showcase these on this video because, frankly, this is part of my existence in the world. So TCG Ted, Sloop Dupe, this is when I got a box break from DM Armada. You know, others over here, right? We can look at some of the ones that are in here. Hank, Rudy, Az, Andromeda, Sin, Jim Fab, TCG cards. You got just everybody. So when I see these people, I have them sign cards. Now, as part of a Patreon, right? I'm part of Sloop's Patreon membership. I've been since pretty much the beginning, if I remember right. He signs cards and sends them out. So I have copies of some of these cards. Other cards that are still near and dear to my heart, right, are like cards like this. This is a discard card. So this is a Magic the Gathering discard card, but you'll notice I have a sunken treasure behind it. Charlie Brown medallions, I won't go into explaining that, but then you have things like this, the blank barcode cards. This is a Flesh and Blood asset. And then this one here, which is also, you know, a Flesh and Blood asset as well. I do want to get these graded when PCG, I think, opens that up to be able to be graded. That would be a fantastic thing, right? We have more of these here. We got some James White signed baubles here. One of them's an alpha. One of them's the specific, I guess what I'd call Christmas bauble. You got the formerly in our community, but still always with us in our heart, Tall Timmy, right? So you have a bunch of the different ones that they keep going here, right? You kind of look at some of these other ones in here. I had some signed when I did some UPF games, right? This was a way for me to remember some UPF matches that existed, right? Riddler Man Gaming. So, like, just to show some other stuff off here, right? I got some I won't give you my numbers on them, but I got some of his VIP and regular tokens. So like these are being part of his membership squad, right? So the Cardboard Warriors, shout out there. Somewhere I have the actual shirts that I bought. They're jerseys, right? I probably could put one of those things on, but I don't remember where I stuck the bag. It's around here somewhere. I've been doing deep cleaning, so. But that's another example of things that exist, right? Red Zone Rogue and DM Armada have done tokens over time. I was part of their Patreon at one point. I'm part of the Fabled Hunters Patreon. So he has sent out a couple things, he being Saint and Yanji. Again, more crack baubles. These are some doodles that happened at the Coaxing, which is one of the events I went to. I've been working on my collection from the Rudy Alpha Investments game, basically trying to make sure we get all the cards for the Gem Keeper suite. I have a couple of artist altars. This is an example of a specific Flesh and Blood Rudy token that was done. We got some other various, promos. This is when I first met Josh Riddler Man. This is the Seeker's Hood, is what I got from him, and the friendship has kind of grown from there. These are some cards that came from Baltimore when they were doing some pack openings. I believe this was signed by James White, and these all came from those events. I got some random Fables in here. Some of these are part of my actual collection. I need to get these graded to send off. These are some UPF cards that I had the wife create. So when we were doing the UPF games, these are some of the prizes or participation awards I gave out for being there. And then you'll find some of these like random tokens that I've got over the time from, this is Goblin Reserve. Various individuals make these tokens. Outside of that, there's some random misprints, like this one has a dot in it, things like that. Some of these, it's going to be interesting as time goes on, right? You can look at the price you paid for some of these. This is a version of a crimp card as an example. So this is just one binder. Gotta love Exodia, by the way. I have to call out the Yu-Gi-Oh! Exodia, because I really think at one point this is kind of like Teklevossen in a weird way. I got the Japanese, new Enigma New Moon, and other items that are kind of keepsakes in here, right, is at the very back. I got some of the maps. It's like Pro Tour Baltimore, so I made sure to keep some of those. And that's just what's in this one binder. I have multitudes of binders, right? The magic of video editing will be on to the next binder here, and this one is the WTR fully complete set. This has every card in rainbow foil, or whatever version is available. So there's rainbow foil and a non-rainbow foil version. Like, you can have that in there. So if I were to pull out Alpha Rampage as an example, there is a rainbow foil and a non-rainbow foil. So this is a complete set. The legendaries are actually ones that have been graded. So those are part of my master set. This master set includes things like my tunic, which is a 9.5 graded tunic. My Mask of Momentum. So you can see these are in the order of the set. Heart of Findo. I got other ones that need to get graded here. We got another Brave Forge. So this is how I've been logging a lot of my legendaries. This is basically a complete list of almost all the legendaries all the way up to the latest set. I'm missing a couple of the latest ones just because I haven't really been playing those heroes. But I also have, Emperors when they were $9 and $3 and $2. It just depends on what they are. So each one of these represents the cards that would be part of my player collection. So when I'm playing the game, I have all the legendaries to play those cards. Okay, next up we're going to talk about the Cracked Bauble collection, which we have the Worlds 2023 and the Worlds 2022. We're going to hopefully get the Worlds 2024, and you'll notice that the very first one here is a WTR token, the second one was an Arcane Rising token, and the third one we're going to be doing, hopefully, a Crucible of War first edition foil version that we're going to get slabbed in PCG. And we also had this Cracked Bauble that was sent off to Sam Yang to get signed. That's why this one is in here. Some other various cards that are on the table here are, promos like Go Bananas, which I originally purchased and was very happy to have. Or like this was a gift from my LGS when I first jumped into the game. So I got a Crazy Brew. One of my all-time favorite cards is this Yorick Weaver of Tales, which is signed by none other than James White himself. And it is nice that, at least I thought they called it out that it was signed on here, but I don't think they actually identified it was signed in that one. This is the Nitro Mechanoid that I pulled in my Dynasty box, so I'm very excited about that. And then this was one of my first grading experiences where I obviously was learning as I go, and I'm still learning, right? So it's a whole world of things. This is my very first Dash Inventor Extraordinaire, probably if I had to pick the absolute pinnacle of my collection, even though it is technically worthless according to everybody else. But this was the token that I started playing with when I first got into the game. I sent it off to Samyang. It took over 6.5 or 7 months. Got lost in shipping, came back. There was some very weird stuff that happened. Anyways, it came back into my hand, God willing, and I have it. And this is a grail in my collection. So those are just some of a larger puzzle that is known as Flesh and Blood. And no video would be complete without showing off some oddities. This is one of the wall scrolls, which is the backdrop that I've used in a couple videos. So that's nice and safe in this. Here's a random stack of cards that were off to the side that I'm still working on cataloging, but this is an example of a cracked bauble that is an unlimited version of foil. So if I can't go ahead and find the first edition, I'll be sending that off. This one has a lot of bad scratches. This is just a variety of, different promos and stuff. These are Team Covenant promos that are in here. There's some Gyarados and Ice Cube because I really like those Pokemon. This is from a guy who's no longer in the community, Louis DeGeorge. when I got a box opening, I asked him to sign a card for me, and he did this. This is really old. This is the Professor's card from, Professor Teklavasson or the Professor directly. We have the Pop Color Polo. I only have one of those. I still need the other colors. But this is a variety of stuff, from things I've purchased to things I've opened. A beautiful Ragamuffins hat. Head jabs, artillery, cold foils. There's more cold foils, some marvels. There's some more promos, different marvels here, marvels. You can see that at one point we were able to get our Construct Nitro Mechanoids for cheap from our LGS. Foil Command and Conquer, a couple of cosplay promos because at some point I'd love to do a Taylor. Like, the list goes on. And with that, I'll wrap up the It's Time to Not Be Quiet About Flesh and Blood video. So thanks for tuning in. That is just but a brief example of some of the cool things that exist in the Flesh and Blood ecosystem. And remember, collecting is unique to everybody, and what you like, somebody else may not like. And that's perfectly fine. Don't let them ever tell you that you can't enjoy what you enjoy, because that is part of the joy of life, is to enjoy the things that you enjoy. So enjoy all of those things and enjoy them with your friends or with yourself, and enjoy the game of Flesh and Blood. So until next time, may your games be fun and your friendships grow. Cheers, my friend. That's a wrap. Ow, that hurt. That's my kneecap. Ouch. I really, where did those damn shirts go? Is this it? Alright, cut here. Hey, and if you're curious for those, I did actually find my Cardboard Warrior shirt. And if you ever see me at a convention, I might be wearing My Bauble is Cracked. Until next time, peace. My fellow Flesh and Blood collectors, I didn't think I'd be making this video, but here we are. So, it's time to talk about all things Flesh and Blood. No, what's the name of the title? It's